Live and presented by Concho Bell Bonds tonight, as we are live at Cork and Pig Tavern on a beautiful night to come out and see us. We're on the outside of the patio, and we're going to be joined by some special guests. We got some Central baseball players, along with your head coach Patrick Penry, will join us in about 10 to 15 minutes. But before we get to that, we have now with us here in this special night all about baseball and softball, presented by Concho Bell Bonds, head coach of Angelo State softball now, Coach Travis Scott. Coach Scott, you and I were talking about that story about the New Orleans Saints listening to the other team through an electronic device. I guess, of course, in baseball, softball, you're always trying to steal the other team's signs.
That's the only reason why I've been successful. We got, we got our dugout. We got the dugout bugged over there. No, I'll tell you, it's you almost wonder what's next with those guys. It's been a rough off season in New Orleans.
Let's talk about your softball team. 50 games in the year. You're 42-8. Do you think you already have the number one seed wrapped up in the region?
I'd like to hope so. You know, with the new format that we have at the Lone Star Conference this year, tournament being a single elimination, even if we do lose one game, I feel like we've separated ourselves enough and have a big enough gap now that we would be the number one seed. If not, I feel like we would drop no further than number two. And if we're the number two seed, we'd still be able to host a regional, and that's our goal, is to be able to be at home next week for the NCAA championships. Host that thing here in San Angelo. We've done it 2 or 3 other times before, and had an awesome experience every time with huge crowds.
Travis Scott with us, head coach of Angelo State softball here at Cork and Pig Tavern on Sports Huddle. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it to win the Lone Star Conference tournament championship? Come on.
Well,
these are I'm giving you some.
I mean, you want to say a 9 or 10, but honestly, it's not the truth. By winning the Lone Star Conference in the regular season this year, that was holds much more weight than winning the conference tournament this year. We want to win every game we play. We want to win 5 championships, which the regular season, the conference tournament, regional tournament, super regional tournament, and national tournament, and that's our goal. And if we don't this weekend, it's all about next week, really, at this point. Getting ready for the regional tournament, make sure that we stay healthy, make sure that we get good practices in, and be ready to go 100% come next weekend. But you know my players, and you know me, we're not walking out there anywhere without expecting not to win, and we're going to go try to get 3 wins this weekend and pretty much put a stamp on I guess you could say who the best team in this conference is.
And the region as well. What is your biggest concern that could keep your team from advancing possibly all the way to the national championship tournament in Kentucky this year?
It's 8 other teams in this region. I mean, this is the toughest region in the country this year with 4 conferences. No other region in the country has 4 conferences. And I'm telling you, you're talking about some of the best baseball or softball in the country played in the Lone Star Conference. And then you throw Emporia State, Missouri Western, Arkansas, Monticello, Southeastern Oklahoma. You throw those in, St. Mary's, you throw them into the mix with the Lone Star Conference, and you're talking about an extremely deep, talented field of softball teams. So trust me, the national tournament is what we would love to do, but we've got a long way to go to get there, and we know that, and our players know that. Hopefully our fans don't believe just because we're 42-8 that we're unbeatable, because we're not. And winning is something that we have done more than anybody, I guess. But at the same time, I hope people don't just come to expect it and think that we've had a failure if we don't get to the national tournament, because it's just simply not the case. There's so many quality teams in this region that whoever does come out of it's really going to have a good chance to win that national tournament.
Travis Scott, head coach of ASU softball here on Sports Huddle, presented by Concho Bell Bonds. What is the dumbest rule in softball, college softball?
Which one you want to start with? Gosh.
Just give me one. There's one that's got to just annoy you. Because I've heard you.
The pitching lane. The pitching lane.
Lane? What is a pitching lane?
We have to chalk this pitching lane.
Okay.
Which goes from the outside of the rubber to the inside of the batter's box. So you got a little lane there that the pitcher has to keep their feet within as they're pitching the ball, and by the end of the first inning, that thing's eliminated because it's chalk and it's gone. But yet we have to waste chalk and time doing it every week.
Have you ever been told by an umpire you better re-chalk that?
Yes, I actually have, because typically we won't do it in between games, but I have had umpires that say, we have to pull the chalker back out and do it. So that's one that, in my opinion, I don't care as long as you're dragging your foot and you're legal. It shouldn't matter where you step, but that's one of them. That's one of many, though.
You're a superstitious guy. We've talked about your superstitions
No, I'm not.
before.
I like my comfort zone.
Okay, whatever you want to call it. What's the one superstition you must do before every game?
My son here sitting in front of me, Mickey, he's nailed it. I got to eat the Sonic hickory cheeseburger, cheese tater tot, and Route 44 Diet Coke before every home game.
Have you approached Sonic yet about being their corporate sponsor?
Yeah,
you
we
can
did.
be like
Last
the next-
couple of years, they actually gave me free meals. We didn't hit them up this year. I need to go back over there because it's costing me some money every time we host games.
I know you're a NASCAR guy. Maybe you should do like the soccer players do in
Yeah.
European leagues. Wear Sonic at the back of your shirt.
I'm wearing it on my gut. I think the years of eating that thing is catching up with me.
Okay, we're talking to Travis Scott, head coach of Angelo State softball. I'm glad you just mentioned your son, Mickey, sitting right here. Going to ask you the toughest question ever. He's playing for Central Baseball.
Yeah.
If you had to choose between Mickey winning a state championship with the Bobcats or your Bells winning a national championship, can you make a choice?
No, absolutely. Because if I say Mickey, then I've got 18 girls that are going to, destroy me tonight. If I say that, then he's going to be on me. So, boy, that'd be the ideal
How about just
spring,
both?
wouldn't it? That'd be the ideal spring if both of us could come home with big rings.
If you had a national championship this year, would your radio announcer receive a ring? Because I am part of the team. I'm going with you guys the whole way, I think. It just,
It depends on if there's a bubblegum machine around.
if there's a bubble gum machine,
We'll find
okay.
one in there. No, we'll work on it, Jeremy. We'll have to get some sponsorship for your ring, but we'll talk to Cork and Pig.
All right, a couple more thoughts. Travis Scott, ASU softball. Tell us what's going on this weekend. Lone Star Conference tournament in Denton. Tell me the schedule and what's going on.
Well, it's a single elimination tournament, 8 teams. So we've condensed it down to a 2-day tournament. So games will start, I believe the first game is at 11. On Friday, we will play the last game, being the number 1 seed. So we will play at 7 o'clock versus Cameron. If we win that one, we'll play at 1 o'clock on Saturday. And I'm pretty sure it's against the winner of West Texas A&M and Abilene Christian. And then if we can win that one, then we'll play right after that for the Lone Star Conference tournament championship. And be a short weekend, really, considering
Sure.
we're used to playing 3-day tournaments in February. And so it's going to be a nice, easy. And that was another thing that we talked about as a coaches group in our conference meeting was, staying healthy throughout our conference tournament. Because when you have a double elimination tournament over 3 days with 8 teams, you can beat each other up, and pitchers can rake up a lot of innings if they get in that loser's bracket early and work their way back. So I think it's going to be a good deal for us.
You've been here since 2004. If your team was fortunate enough to win the conference championship this weekend, how many would that be?
Conference championship?
For a conference tournament championship.
Well, it'd be 6 because we've won 6 by winning the regular season and being the conference champions. That's our 6th.
Okay.
And before this year, we've had to win 5 of those conference tournaments. So it'll be the 6th time, and this is my 9th year here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a great year. Let's give him nice applause. Travis Scott, head coach of Angelo State softball. Wish him the best of luck coming up this Friday night. We'll have the game on the radio at 7 o'clock. The Bells against the 8-seed Cameron at the Lone Star Conference tournament. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. I'm pretty disappointed that you thought those baseball bats down there were bowling pins. That's sad, Jeremy.
I knew there were baseball bats, but look at it. If I stood them up, it looks like bowling pins.
Okay.
Now, I think you have somewhere to be now. All right, thanks, Coach.